Roger Stone has the top story there on the left-hand side of drudgereport.com. And the question he asked is, who is the real Ted Cruz? There's another story up on Infowars.com, PrisonPlanet.com, and on Drudge. Mitt Romney won't rule out accepting GOP nomination at contested convention. And we just played John Kasich, the Ohio governor, where we have major evidence of election fraud and early voting and absentee ballots right now. We reported on that last week, saying he will win and that they will broker the convention in his home state. And he plans to take it from Trump, even if Trump has 1,000 delegates. And Kasich has 5. He will be our president. So incredible mainlining psychological inoculation to condition us to accept this. So getting into election fraud, getting into the attacks, getting into who Ted Cruz really is Roger Stone joining us via the phone, consummate Trump insider, former head of his campaign and Trump confidant. Roger, thanks for coming on 3 or 4 days a week. Things are so fast moving, and I couldn't think of a better expert to get on. Where do you want to start first?
Well, I've never really seen anything like this in almost 40 years in American politics, working in 9 presidential campaigns. Alan, first of all, the place to start, I guess, is the incredible onslaught of anti-Trump television ads now completely saturating the airwaves in Florida, in Ohio, and nationally. I'm able to report to you, last week reported $75 million gathered by the Koch brothers, not their own money, very clever.
And your phone cut out for a moment on the Koch brothers. Start back over. What had been gathered? You first broke that. Drudge ran it. Went viral. You've been proven right.
Yes, but it is now. There's developments here. Their pot is up from $75 million to $145 million. So there are now additional.
Whoa! $145 million to crush Trump
in a national television advertisement. I must tell you, Alex, here in Florida, you cannot turn on the television, the cable, the radio without getting a vicious anti-Trump commercial. I've never seen anything like it. You have Rubio and Cruz working together in Puerto Rico, squeezing Trump out. Cruz purposely draining votes from Trump so that Rubio took all 23 delegates there today. It's an overall example of what's happening here. The establishment is playing a multi-handed game. On the one hand, they're using Ted Cruz to block Trump, giving him some faint hope that he could emerge as the candidate, that they'd rather be with him, given his Goldman Sachs connections, his establishment roots, than Trump. You also have massive reports of voter fraud, not just in Texas, which, as you know, are very well publicized in the mainstream media, Travis County, Dallas County, and 6 other counties, but now additional evidence of fraud in Kansas, in Oklahoma. We set up an 800 number. The phone lines are burning up. People are sending us videos, and it is virtually the same. It appears to be a steal in those states away from Trump, awarding votes that he did not win to either Marco Rubio, which was the case in Texas, where I suspect Karl Rove is in the House, and Ted Cruz. You have the sad fact, though, that even the establishment knows Ted Cruz can't get to 1,237 delegates on the...
So they're just scuttling it so Hillary wins, or are they planning, because Kasich seems very confident. He says he's going to get it and just take it when the convention happens in his home state.
Well, as you know, the establishment doesn't always speak with one voice. They have their own internal competition. The Kennedys and the Rockefellers both wanted to be president. They still both went to the Bilderberger meetings and sat at the CFR.
Exactly.
And you have the same thing here. Kasich wants it. Romney wants it. Marco Rubio wants it, but Marco Rubio has got to show some legs in Florida or he's done. That's why Romney hasn't endorsed him. Romney doesn't wish success on Marco other than as a pawn for the establishment. This is the exact Barry Goldwater playbook. This is exactly what they tried to do in the Stop Goldwater movement. And yes, Alex, you hit it on the head. If they can't have it themselves, it's rule or ruin. If Trump is going to be the nominee, they will scuttle his nomination in a general election.
They are complete traitors. Don't they endanger forever destroying the Republican Party with a move like that?
Yes, but they don't care because, as we know, they're all globalists. And globalist Hillary Clinton is preferable to them to nationalist Donald Trump, particularly a Donald Trump who can't be swayed by their money and their contributions.
Well, 2 weeks ago, you were here in studio, and you said, last night they met, $75 million. It came out later. They're going to run his campaign. Came out 3 days later. They're going to do all this in Florida. It's now happened. They lined up all the donors. I mean, here you are, 40 years of this. You've never seen anything like it. Why are they so scared of Trump? Is Gingrich right? The quote, because he's never been in the secret society. He's not part of the club. What do you think of Gingrich's cryptic statement on that front?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what's happened. I think that they are petrified that he doesn't share their anti-American, or I should say anti-American sovereignty views. Look, watch for this. This is coming next. Jeb Bush has $25 to $30 million left of that Wall Street money in his super PAC. Look for him to shift that money behind the anti-Trump drive. I'm told that Barbara Bush herself is calling party leaders saying Trump must be stopped and that the Romney, Kasich, Rubio people need to speak among themselves. And it's very clear to me, for example, that you saw in the primaries this weekend, Trump lost Maine, he lost Kansas, both places with a much more narrow electorate where Ted Cruz simply out-organized him. But Trump was able to romp in Louisiana and Kentucky, however, by much smaller margins than the polls showed a week ago. Late-breaking voters in the Super Tuesday primary and the most recent primaries and sophisticated polling show the undecideds breaking late against Trump, which means...
That means the targeted brainwashing is starting to work.
Yeah, that is exactly right. So now the question is really, the focus is really on Trump and his campaign. I do have a special report for you, and that is will warm the cockles of your heart. As you know, in his press conference in Palm Beach, Trump said that among those he would look to for foreign policy advice was Richard Haas. This is the same Richard Haas who gave a speech just before Putin moved into Crimea saying we didn't need to worry about the Soviets. They were just a global power. Spoken to this morning by an intimate of mine at his synagogue in New York, Haas said that he would never survey President Trump, and he considered Trump a joke. So it is very clear that this attempt to get Trump to swallow Haas as an advisor was something someone put in his mind. Haas has no interest, and I would hope Trump will figure out that Haas is a globalist, is a neocon.
Well, let's go further. It's clear. They approach him. He meets with them out of respect. They leak it knowing they're hated to hurt him. They're listening to me. The only way to destroy Trump is for them to endorse him.
Well, and Haas met privately with Trump, and now it's the Romney-style betrayal.
Well, you were right. I'm not trying to kiss your rump here. It's totally true. You have called everything in royal flush spades. You said Romney was getting ready. And I know I believe you, but I thought, man, you're off the reservation. A week and a half later, he does it. He now tells the Washington Times, and in a speech, he says, I may take a broker convention. If people want me, I'm going to be president. I'll take the nomination. Everything you said has come true. You were told that by sources, or did you just divine that?
Sources. I mean, Alex, I spent 9 years in this business. I have friends working in every one of these campaigns. In politics, people talk. I have an underground of sources in every one of these campaigns. I know people, I have friends with people, globalists, who are working for Romney.
No, I understand. You called it, StoneZone.com. Stay there, Roger. Roger, stay there. I want to come back with you. If you'll leave and stay longer, too, we'll take these callers so they can talk to you. But this is so important because the establishment is in a panic, cardiac arrest over Trump. They're pulling out the stops. And you heard it. It appears that they're finally starting to slow him. They're slowing his rise. They're cutting off his numbers.